Welcome viewers. Today we will study about Gauss law or Gauss theorem. Before we move to Gauss law and Gauss theorem, there is a very important topic or concept is called flux. So flux is denoted by phi. Flux. Before going to flux in electrostatics, suppose there is a suppose traffic point. There is a traffic point. There is suppose four ways, one to go suppose towards east, one for west, one for north, one for south. If somehow we focus on the turning suppose traffic point, the net buses, cars, trucks, automobiles coming towards traffic, going away from traffic through north towards east towards south, this can be known as total flux, net flux. If we apply in the electrostatics, the definition of flux is, this is electric field vector and this is area vector. Okay, so this is basically known as flux. Now if you see, there are key points or key lines which you have to remember in suppose electrostatics, like electric field is always represented by field lines. Okay, number of field lines more, intensity of electric field is more. So we can say this flux over a surface, this is an elementary surface. Let me ask you, let me describe why we am taking ds. ds is the elementary area. Why I am not taking the entire area? The question is, suppose this is our area S and this is a surface. So we cannot say over the entire surface electric field and theta will be same. Theta means theta is the angle between electric field and area vector. We cannot give you a guarantee in electric field and theta is the same. So what we can do, we can divide this surface to numerous very small surface ds. Suppose this is ds, very small area. If suppose this is ds1, ds2, if we divide numerous ds from S, then we can imagine that ds is so small area, ds is so small, yes, entirely electric field is constant over the entire ds. Okay, so this is why this is ds. So it is dot product, we can write like this: flux equal to EDS cos of theta. Okay, EDS cos of theta. Now this electric flux, we can say, see very carefully, this electric flux we can say proportional to lines of force passing through that area. Why? Because see, this is what? This is electric field, means this is intensity of electric field. If lines of force is passing through like this, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of force, it has some value of electric field intensity. But instead of 4 electric lines of force, if there are suppose 40 electric lines of force or 40 field lines passing through the area, that means the electric field is 10 times higher. More electric lines of force, more electric field intensity. Less field lines, less intensity of electric field. So that is why we can say this flux is proportional to lines of force passing through the surface. There is a surface. If there are so many lines of force passing through these, we can say the flux is very, very higher. If there is an area, very less lines of force passing through this, we can say flux is lesser. Okay. Now let's move to Gauss theorem. What is Gauss theorem? Gauss theorem is the flux is equal to 1 by epsilon times of enclosed charge. Enclosed charge means a particular, there is a suppose surface. If this surface has a inside charge q, so this is q enclosed. If there are suppose a charge minus q outside the surface, Gaussian, according to Gauss theorem, outside surface is not considered, only inside surface is considered. Say there is one positive q1 and negative q2. That means, say there is a surface which contains multiple charges, two charges, one positive, one negative. Then what will be the formula? Then phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught into q enclosed, means this is the net charge enclosed by the surface. So it will be q1 minus q2. What is q1 minus q2? This is net charge enclosed by surface. I repeat, in the Gauss theorem, 1 by epsilon flux is 1 by epsilon naught times of enclosed surface. मतलब enclosed net charge. So Gauss theorem is applicable to single charge enclosed or multiple charge enclosed. Okay, because if there is outside charge, if there are some charges outside the surface, this is not calculated, this is not taken into consideration. It's as simple as that. Now, if a charge is positive, flux is outward. If a charge means enclosed charge. If enclosed charge is negative, flux is inward. Means magnitude of flux may be similar or same, but the direction is different. Okay, but since flux is a scalar quantity, so we can say this flux and this flux is the same. If it's vector, then it cannot be the same, but flux is always a scalar quantity. Now see, I am giving some example. We have a positive charge plus q, okay, and suppose we have a negative charge minus. This is positive, this is negative. So we know field lines originate from positive and field lines terminate at negative. That means like this, like this, like this. Here flux is outward because lines of force is outward. Here flux is inward because lines of force are inward. Now say I am enclosing an area, I am giving the name S1. I am enclosing a negative charge, the surface is S2, and there is surface S3. Please focus on surface number 3, S3. According to Gauss theorem, does S3 contain any kind of charge? The answer is no. So net flux in S3 equal to 0 because there is no charge or there is no net charge in the surface. But how can we be satisfied? Yes, there is no flux. Yes, we can. The alternate way to understand this. You see, this is the flux entering because flux is represented by field lines. if field lines are coming, that means this is flux. The flux here, flux will be produced by the incoming of field lines like this. So this is flux in the inward direction because the field lines are entering S3. Similarly, these field lines are leaving also. So this is flux in the outward direction. So what will be the net flux? Same flux entering, same field line entering, same field line leaving. So here is a electric flux inward and equal number of flux outward. So net flux is 0. By Gauss theorem also we can prove it because there is no net charge. So flux is 0. From the diagram also, here flux is produced due to incoming of lines of force. This is flux inward. Here flux is produced due to outgoing of field lines. Here flux is outward, and the net flux outward minus flux inward, both are equal, hence flux equal to 0. So this is how we can apply the Gauss theorem. And in question paper, similar kind of questions are asked. Some may ask how can you prove Coulomb law from Gauss theorem, or how can you prove suppose Gauss law from a Coulomb law. In the next video, I am trying to establish that Coulomb's law can be derived by Gauss theorem, or Gauss theorem can be derived or proved by using Coulomb's law. These kind of questions often asked in the question in exam. Thank you so much.